Ask Alec.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Ask Alec, where I take your questions on poker or whatever and answer them here in quick videos, 5 minutes or less. Today's question comes from Zheng Huang, one of my guys, a reader of mine. We met up, I did a meetup in New York where I invited a bunch of people that were in town to come hang out with me for the day, and he was there. He was nice enough to come and participate. So we spent some time a while back, and he's been doing really well. He says, hope everything's going great. It's been a while since we talked. I've taken your advice and improved many leaks I had in my game, but he has one thing that's keeping him up at night, and it happens when he gets up a lot of money in his 1-2 cash game. So he says he tripled up in the first hour, and this happens often, and he had $800 in front of him, so he's up a lot of money. He says he locked it down. He was gonna play ABC poker the rest of the night, had his game plan on, but he ended up staying a couple hours longer than he wanted to. He kind of felt like political pressure, social pressure to stay, and 1 hour turned into 2, whatever. He goes on to say he got aces and kings a bunch of times. They got cracked, of course. It always feels like that happens right when you win money. And he ended up losing a lot of it back and ended the session with $325, a small winner in the game. He says, what's the most effective way to get your mind off the bad beats and to not think about the variance, but just keep your head in the game, play your A game, and get your confidence back? Your advice is much appreciated. Thanks. Kind regards, Zheng. All right, man. Well, first of all, a little dose of perspective here. If one of your worst runs, if something that's choking you up is one that is still a winning session, you bought in and you ended up with more money than you had at the beginning of the session, even though it feels like you lost because at one point you had 800. If that's your worst situation or something that's causing a lack of confidence, that's a dose of perspective for you right there. You still booked that session a winner. So check in with yourself and be like, look, if I would have gone to this session knowing I could have won $120 or whatever it is you won for the day, even $50, would I lose confidence? Would I be upset? Would I be angry? Would I feel inadequate? Or any of the nonsense going around in your head? That's something to check in with. And of course the answer is going to be no. So that's just something you got to accept that happens. Now, I know a win can feel like a loss when you are up 3 times as much as you were, and consequently a loss can feel like a win when you end up losing only a third of the amount you were down. It feels like you booked a win that session. I totally get the feeling, and it's really frustrating giving away a big win. But you had a key element that came up in this session that should have been your indicator, and you should have used this as a trigger to quit long before the event actually happened. Now, I talk about this a lot more in my course, 4-Step Poker. I highly encourage you to check it out if it's something you really want to master. But for now, here's what you really need to know. This trigger that you should have identified is the moment that you felt like you were up enough money that your gear shifted in your head and you started playing what you identify as ABC poker. You went on lockdown, you wanted to lock up the win or whatever it was. The fact that you changed your game plan because of external circumstances, which were the results, it wasn't like you changed your game plan because there was a great player that sat down to your left and you had to play ABC poker. You changed your game plan specifically because of the amount of money you were up or down. That's an indicator that you're in over your head, you're playing too big, or your steam for the game is up. You've given all the energy you've had for the session and you feel like you've accomplished what you wanted for the session. Winning any more money isn't gonna help you be any happier. Losing could only hurt you. You sort of feel like you gotta change because you gotta protect this little whatever that you've accumulated. That's a good sign to quit. So anytime you notice yourself, and I do this too, anytime you notice yourself like counting your money, seeing how much I'm up, not because you want to know like how many chips you have and how many big blinds you have to adjust your strategy, but because you're sort of mentally checking out and you want to say to yourself, well, am I up 1,500? Okay, that's a lot of money because last week I lost 1,000 and now I'm actually up 500 and I'm going to be a winner for the month. Anytime you start going into that loop mentally, you're gone. You've lost it. You've checked out. You're no longer hungry for the game, and you should quit. The key to realize here is, why would you change the game plan that won you 3 times your investment if nothing else changed. There's no external circumstances that changed. All the players are the same. You're still exploiting the same people. Everything is the same at the table. The only reason you're changing your game plan is because you're up money. So it's not broken. You shouldn't fix it. Your head's not in the game. You should have quit. That's your warning sign. And anytime that happens, check out of the game early. Don't wait until you lose the money back. Forget the political pressure. Forget what it is. I mean, you got to do you first. So the moral of the story is you could easily go a month losing at live poker, and that's just something you got to accept going into it. And I think going in with this attitude and this understanding, this sort of appreciation for the fact that you can play a game with other people that are worse than you, and they'll sit down at the table and put money at risk when you have a long-term edge. And in exchange for that, you have to deal with the short-term frustration of potentially losing to them. That's just a trade-off for the game, and you should embrace that and be happy about it. And that's what I really think some of the understanding, the maturity of playing poker professionally really helps with that perspective. So one thing you can do, I feel like, to get your confidence back is do other things in your personal life that give you confidence. Some things that you're competent at, that you're good at, that you know you can knock the ball out of the park every single time. So if you are a great runner, go on a run and crush it and do your 6-minute mile and feel like a champion. Engineer a great day for you before you play poker so that you're already feeling like a winner before you go into that poker session. I have my pregame routine. I've shared this with you guys many times, like how to prepare for tournaments. You've seen that video. There's one about a vlog I just released about Oklahoma as well, where I kind of show you a lot of my pregame routine. And yeah, that's what I do. I engineer my perfect day. I feel like really confident. I eat well, I sleep well, I work out and do all those things that make me feel like a champion at the table, and I perform my best when I do that. Another thing you could do, a little fun thing that I encourage my clients to do, and you can mix in sometimes, is play a poker game that's like 2 levels below where you normally play, that you can absolutely just crush. And go there and be, you know, the best player at the table, be fearless, feel what it's like, and really embody what it's like to just go there and not care about the money, be indifferent, be confident enough to make all those plays that you know you're capable of playing and you're capable of executing, but maybe in your bigger game you're a little too apprehensive, you're a little afraid, you're a little intimidated, and you don't do. Do those at the smaller games and really feel what it's like to be a winner in those games and take that with you to the big game. Alright, that's it for this Ask Alec. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions you'd like answered, head over to my blog, alectorelli.com, and send me your questions. I'll pick the best ones and answer them right here. That's it. See you guys next time. Cheers.